So I want to provide you tonight with an update on the King J case. As you know, our detectives have been working around the clock on this case since last Friday evening. Tonight, we've charged 3 people for tampering with evidence as it relates to the case of King J. We've again arrested his father, Christopher Davila. We've also arrested King J's paternal grandmother, Beatrice Sampaio. We're in the process of questioning both of them. We also have charged Christopher's cousin, Angie Torres, who is still in the Bexar County Jail after we arrested her earlier this week on an unrelated robbery charge. PIO will provide you with their SID numbers after we're finished here. As I mentioned previously, this was a staged kidnapping meant to cover up foul play. We have statements from multiple witnesses that unfortunately lead us to believe that King J is deceased. We charge these 3 individuals with tampering with evidence because we believe that they participated in staging the kidnapping to hide King J's body so that we couldn't find it to determine what happened to him. As I already told you, his father, Christopher, and his cousin, Angie, were involved in this scheme. I can now confirm that Beatrice, that's Christopher's mom, was the person who dropped Angie off near the gas station where she took the car. Angie described the route she and Beatrice took where they disposed of the car seat. And Angie also said that she learned from Beatrice that Christopher had severely injured King J. We are still actively looking for King J. We want to find him because we seek justice for him. We have some locations to search, but I'm not going to disclose. I can't disclose that information at this time. And I would ask that you let us do our jobs in searching for King J by staying away from those areas. It doesn't help us. It doesn't help us at all. We have some locations to search, again, but I'm not going to disclose those locations. The tampering charges are 3rd-degree felonies. They carry a 2 to 10 year prison term, but new charges could arise and other people may be charged as well as we continue to investigate. These arrests do not signal the completion of the investigation, and we will not be satisfied until we've located King J. Our focus will remain on finding him, and I will again tell anyone who has information that your time is running out to come forward and talk to us if you have information about his whereabouts or what happened to him. And if you've already lied to us, then we're going to charge you too. I'll take any questions right now.
The mother that's involved in the case, Mrs. Jasmine, is she at all a suspect, or is she still the one kind of?
Right now, she's still under investigation as well.
The grandmother had told you that Christopher hurt the child badly. Can you elaborate a little bit further on that?
No.
Did she answer that in questioning here at headquarters?
No.
Has anyone given any clue as to where Baby King is?
That's still being investigated.
If he was never in the car, do y'all know the last place the baby was last seen?
No. Detectives are working that.
Are they cooperating with you?
Pardon?
Are they cooperating? They're talking?
They're being questioned right now as we speak. Let me just say this, that I know the questions are slow coming right now, and we have those folks in custody, the ones that we just mentioned. We are currently questioning them. This case is unraveling thread by thread, as we talked about last Friday, that we believe from the very beginning that this was a scheme. And the more we get into the investigation, the more firmly we believe that. There's been a lot of criticism from the family about our investigating this case, but as you can see, again, the case is unraveling thread by thread.
Tonight, I'm sorry, tonight, when we went to one of the locations, we saw there was a man that was in custody or in handcuffs. Is there another person that you guys have where you're questioning them, or are they being
No,
arrested for anything?
I'm not sure where you're talking about, no.
At the Parkside location, there was
No.
one person in custody, or,
No.
gotcha.
Chief, what you all have described seems so difficult to really wrap your mind around, that someone would allegedly do this. In your experience, have you ever investigated a case like this, where this many people have faked a kidnapping to cover something up?
I mean, there's other cases that are similar to this, yes, and it happens, unfortunately, too many times. One time is too many, but it does happen, unfortunately.
And can you speak on a personal level? I know you're in law enforcement, but we're talking about an 8-month-old child that we are now believe is dead. Can you speak to us on a personal level how this has impacted you and everyone else here in the San Antonio Police Department?
You know, the child cases are the hardest ones for investigators to work because it does affect them. It affects everyone involved with in law enforcement that is involved with them, from the police officers to the child advocates, to the family violence advocates. It affects all those people. It's hard to fathom how someone could do something to their child, no less an 8-month-old child. You know, every parent out there understands that, and everyone out there understands that. How could someone do that to a child? And as I mentioned earlier, you know, this kidnapping was used as a ruse to cover up what we believe early on was foul play. And you know, what other purpose would you fake a kidnapping other than to hide something?
Now that they know that they have been caught, have you guys been able to like get anything out of them to just start at least fessing?
No, and I think you're jumping the gun when you say now that they know they've been caught. We're still in the middle of the investigation, and because of the hard work that the detectives have done from the beginning around the clock, you know, we're getting information that is leading us closer to the end of this.
Do police believe this was all planned out?
I mean, at least part of it was. I mean, we'll know more as we get further into the investigation. Remember, this investigation now is just under a week old, and I think again the detectives have done a great job sorting out fact from fiction and working through the maze of lies that they've been told.
Just for clarification, you said that Mrs. Torres, when she got dropped off by Mrs. Beatrice, she heard Beatrice tell her that Chris may have done something fatally to the baby. Is that where you found that detail out, or was it in your questioning?
No, that was another time.
And can you give us a sense of how many tips you all have received from the public, because you put out a call for people to help?
Yeah, I don't know.
Has the public been responsive, and has their response been helpful in trying to find this little?
They have been responsive, and I don't know which of the tips they may have received have resulted in any fruitful information.
You
The
have time for
witness
one more?
was brought in yesterday. Was she able to provide any evidence that you guys were able to work with, Chief?
I can't comment on that.
And the other question is, you mentioned that the grandmother had dropped off Ms. Torres at the convenience store. Do we know if the grandmother picked her up over where Ms. Torres was seen with the carrier?
I don't know.
And when were they brought into custody?
This evening.
And are police still searching for the baby now, or waiting till daylight to search certain areas?
We're still searching. When we're not actually looking, we are conferring and figuring out what the next move is. But we haven't stopped since last Friday. As I mentioned, we have a task force working on this, so the intent of the task force was so that we weren't handing it off shift to shift, that it was continuous around the clock.
And the FBI is still involved?
The FBI is still working with us.
Okay. And Beatrice, we were told that she has cancer and has been on hospice care. Do you guys confirm that?
No, I can't confirm that.
Okay.
And Chief,
Could there
can
be
you
any
help us
more
understand-
arrests?
Pardon?
Could there be more arrests? And if so, is there anything you'd want to tell those people that are still out there?
I just did. If you're withholding information or you lied to us, we're going to arrest you.
Out of these 3 people that you have so far, are any one of them suspected of being a mastermind of sorts?
I don't know. I don't know who the mastermind is.
That's all we got right now. We'll think this is evolving, and we'll get you guys some updates as soon as we can.
Chief, before you